Hello, everybody. Yeah, right now I'm just busy, kind of low-key freaking out trying to find an actual link to the Pokemon Presents, the YouTube channel that the page is going to be on. Hey everyone, I'm Super Chain Station H. I'm an autistic gamer and writer. We're going to be playing some Pokemon Pinball, which I recently added this cartridge to my collection. I only rented this once from Blockbuster back in 1999, and we're thinking we'd play this for a while we wait for the Pokemon Day, Pokemon Presents presentation. I wish they'd called it Pokemon Direct, because then I could say Pokemon Direct presentation. They used to call them Pokemon Directs, they don't now. But, yeah, I am a bit baffled as to, like, the only official video I could currently find is the English language feed that's aimed at the Asian audience, and I'd rather do one for North America, because, oh yeah, I guess I should actually, go to, why isn't it going to my game? I'll give it like 30, okay, there we go. Oh no, that's an old one. False alarm, everyone.
Hello, everyone. I'm Utsunomiya from the Pokemon Company.
That's supposed to be...
In today's presentation, we'll be sharing information about several Pokemon projects, including the Pokemon Scarlet and Pokemon Violet games.
Yeah, I don't care about Scarlet and Violet.
First of all, the weekend of the 2023 Pokemon World Championships is nearly upon us at last. And we hope you'll enjoy this video. I forgot
that it would... Yeah, I used an old video to do the audio balancing, so that hopefully for the new presentation, the audio will be balanced the same.
We're thrilled to bring the
because I found that using Nintendo Directs to balance the audio in anticipation of other Nintendo Directs tends to work pretty good.
In just a few days, over 1,000 trainers from all around the globe will make the journey to compete for the title of World Champion across the Pokemon Scarlet and Pokemon Violet
video
games.
Alright. Yeah, so what's going to happen is that once... Please put up the official video, United States Pokemon. Alright, they're still messing around. Yeah, I have no idea why they haven't put the video up yet. But I would say that like Game Freak should know, or Pokemon Company should know. Where's my game audio? There we go. I'm gonna set a 5-minute timer so that and every 5 minutes we'll check to see if the game actually if the feed is actually up for the to view the live video. Yeah, so this is a premiere for my stream. This is Pokemon Pinball. A game that I really did sort of covet. I really remember flipping through the pages of Nintendo Power and honestly daydreaming over this game. And daydreaming of how cool it would be when I got it, and thinking about playing in the backseat of my parents' car late at night with my worm light. And then I only rented it once, and I never rented it again. Now, this is not a game people typically think of. People think of this as being a Game Boy Color game, and it is a Game Boy Color game, but what a lot of people don't realize, a lot of the sort of essential titles people think of when they think of Pokemon, or when they think of Game Boy Color games like Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening DS, or Pokemon Pinball right here, or Pokemon Gold and Silver, those were all actually cross-compatible with the original Game Boy. And that's something a lot of people even realize, so I thought that I would showcase it here. Now I'm playing this from an actual cartridge using, there it is, yeah, using my analog pocket. Of course, you don't need a physical... Play the games in a manner that it's meaningful for you. I personally prefer to play all my games in a manner that in some way reflects their official release history. Now, what I do want to do, I want to take the chat. I wish this would pause. I wish they would stop the music when you press pause, especially in a handheld game. Where's the chat? I'm gonna have to... Oh, and by the way, this is the, the original theme for the Pokemon anime in Japan, which is kind of neat they decided to throw this in there. There we go, that's more like it, because the only reason we have that view of the window is so that we can see. There we go. Alright, this is more like what I want to see. So, yeah, a lot of people think of this as being... Oh, I accidentally... Yeah, let's start a new game. We'll start on the red table. Let's do it on the red table this time. Yeah, a lot of people think of this as being a Game Boy Color game, but it is fully compatible with the original Game Boy. And so what a lot of people don't realize is that in the red table here, and I didn't realize this till now, because back when I... by the time I rented this, I did have a Game Boy Color. But when I first started playing Pokemon Red and Blue... Where's my copy? How could I not have my copy of Red and Blue on hand? Right here. When I played Red and Blue, I actually played it on a gray brick Game Boy, like you're seeing right here, with the original DMG 001 original model. So my memories of Pokemon looking like this are very, very strong. But I never played Pokemon Pinball like this, and what a lot of people don't realize is that they added these cool embellishments to the graphics that are only existent when playing in monochrome mode on a DMG, you know, black and white model Game Boy. Specifically the brickwork, lining the details of the machine, and sort of make the table pop out a bit more. And another cool thing is that having the brickwork there, bricks are typically a red color. So having that brickwork there, because there's a red and blue table, we're playing on the red table. Having that... Thank you, Pikachu. Yeah, I'm getting over illness, so excuse me, but... Getting over that, Hey, we got Weedle. Yeah, so getting over the fact that it's black and white, they kind of used the brickwork to imply the idea in the player's head of red, even though they wouldn't be able to see it on their game screen, which is pretty cool. Yeah, this game has fantastic music. The music is one of the things I remember the most about it. Alright. And I'm going to be very interested to see what sort of tracks they're able to come up with for, well, I mean, really, as far as the presentation is concerned, okay, time to check to see if they, put the video up. No, not yet. Why is... This is so annoying. Why can't I... Alright. Yeah, and of course, because the way YouTube works now, when you search for something, they show you 5 results of what you searched for, then they just show you whatever the heck they want to... I did it again! That is... Oh my gosh, that is so annoying. But at least when you save and quit, it starts you off right where you were at, which is pretty convenient. I didn't know that until just now. Yeah, having only rented this once back in the day, and actually, while I was reading the Nintendo Power that was previewing this game, there was a huge, and that was in the back seat. I was coming home from my grandma's. My mom and dad were in the front seat, and right when I was in the middle of reading it, and on the highway, we actually got into the biggest car crash I had ever been in my life before or since, and hopefully ever. The car was totaled. We were all uninjured. But, so I wasn't actually playing Pokemon Pinball. I was reading about it in a car crash, in a reading about it in Nintendo Power when a car crash took place. Yeah, the music in this game is that sort of music I'd love to... I would like to put on like a big playlist of a bunch of sort of nostalgic, 8-bit video game music like this, and maybe some original chiptune compositions. When I'm, sort of grinding, working on a project or something late at night to have as background noise. It's a real nice sort of hangout or relaxing kind of vibe. Well, it's not relaxing in the sense of putting you to sleep. It's relaxing in terms of like, hey, it's easy times, it's easy going, nothing too crazy is going on. Actually, I need to... 17, hold on. Yeah, let's set the timer for 43 minutes. Now, I'm not doing that good, but do keep in mind that aside from testing to make sure the cartridge worked, this is essentially the first time I've played this game since 1999. I'll try the blue table. This actually, I'm quitting. I want to get good at the red table in particular. Let's practice on the red table. Because I don't know, I just like the design a lot more. That's weird vertical area on the upper field in the blue table is kind of annoying. Now it's an interesting choice not to have any pop bumpers on the lower table. And it's kind of interesting to me because you could kind of trace the lineage of this game back to Nintendo's NES Pinball, because that was designed by HAL. NES Pinball was made by HAL. Then they made Revenge of the Gator on Game Boy. Then they made Kirby's Pinball Land. And then, after Kirby's Pinball Land, alright, let's get Pokemon. I know I said let's get Pokemon. I believe the terminology, the sort of trademark phrase in Japan is Pokemon Get. But they do let's get Pokemon because they couldn't fit let's catch Pokemon onto the display down there. Now, I do have the Rumble battery. I do have the battery in the AAA battery in the Rumble pack. So it's kind of the analog pocket on the little desk in its dock next to my computer and streaming setup actually say it actually vibrates. I can feel it. I can hear it vibrating in its dock because I didn't bother. I thought I turned the Rumble off, but I guess you might have to do that manually each time, or maybe I didn't save the settings. Alright. Yeah, catching is a lot harder on the blue table from what I experienced, because on the blue table, it's pretty much... No, well, in both tables, the fact that the pop bumpers, which you need to hit in order to get closer to catching the Pokemon, are on the top half of the table. And they're kind of tucked away in a little house. I don't have the tables memorized, but I remember the table being a little more... Man, I don't know what's going on with my... I'm about a week ago right now, I was still sick. Like on President's Day, I was still pretty darn sick. And now I just have this residual cough, kind of. But it's really mainly only triggered by me leaving my house. So when I go downstairs and step outside, then I start coughing, and when I start talking. So good thing I have a habit of keeping water near my desk in any case. But I'm definitely going to need it today. So why don't I check? I want to check and see what's going on. What? Okay, I'm gonna go. Why? I see on YouTube there are like a dozen people who look like they're. Hold on. Yeah, if I do not, if in if it's in the last 10 minutes, you know what I'm gonna do? I know what I'm gonna do, actually. I know what I should have done a while ago, actually, because it's the only official feed I have access to right now. Because Pokemon Asia did it. They have theirs up. So why don't we... Alright. There we go. There. So that's set up. Now we just have to... Now, you know what, I just realized, I'm probably not playing as well as I would be, because I am playing this with a slight delay, because, oh, here we go. Now's our chance to, no, because get properties, interact is what we want. No, okay, I have to do it again. Alright, I accidentally went to a video that no longer exists. Hold on. Alright, there we go. And let's test our screen for viewing the actual event. Alright. Alright, so that's... Okay, everything's working good. We're good, we're good. So now we'll just go back to the game while we wait for my layout to catch up with me. There we go. Yeah, when the actual event starts, I'm going to turn off the timer, I'm going to turn off the game, and we're going to focus on the event. I know in 2022, I think was the event where they... Yeah, it was like February 2022 is when they announced Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. And when that happened... Okay, we're in catch mode. I was actually specifically, and I know a lot of people were, I wasn't alone. We're specifically hoping that Game Freak did not announce a new Pokemon, the next generation of Pokemon in that stream. But they did. And I know for sure that this, if they announce like Pokemon Wind and Rain or something else, if they announce a new Pokemon game, I will be... A new generation. I will not be happy. I'll be like, no. Honestly, even the best case scenario that I'm hoping for right now is honestly for Game Freak and Nintendo to make available a lot of the Game Boy and Game Boy Color Pokemon games for Nintendo Switch Online, which is I would be very excited about, even though that would not personally benefit me, because I can see, as you can see, I have every major. You know what? I just realized I have Pokemon Gold, Silver, and Crystal. Well, I have Pokemon Gold in English and Japanese. I have Pokemon Crystal. I have Pokemon Red. I don't have Pokemon Blue, but I mean Pokemon Red, Blue, Pokemon. I don't have Pokemon Yellow, but I only rented Pokemon Yellow once from Blockbuster. Don't care a great deal about it. So, doggone. So Pokemon, Pokemon, I have Gen 1. I have Gen 2. I have Pokemon Puzzle Challenge. Yeah, that's every major, and now I have Pokemon Pinball, which is the last one I added to my collection. I just realized I now have every 8-bit Pokemon game. I have every single 8-bit Pokemon game. And I have all the major 32-bit Pokemon games. I have Gen 1, and I have Gen 3, and I have Leaf Green, so I have the Gen 1 remakes that came out with Gen 3. No, I mean, I have every single... I didn't realize until today, till just now on stream, that I actually do have every single 8-bit Pokemon game released for Game Boy and Game Boy Color. So, yeah, so and I could hear the cartridge actually vibrating on the desk, which is, that I have my Analog Pocket set up on, which is pretty cool. Even though I'm probably going to take the AAA battery out because I don't want it to leak, as I'm not going to play this... I'm going to play this more often in the near future, because within the next 2 or 3 months, I'm going to be starting Pokemon Red, which is something I've been planning for my stream since the beginning of my stream, back in 2020. And I will be playing Pokemon Pinball as a bit of a warm-up game, probably. Like, a lot of times I'll play Revenge of the Gator for a few minutes as a work-up for playing Game Boy Donkey Kong, or whenever I'm playing Switch, I'll often play Versus Pinball at the beginning for a few minutes as sort of my just chatting section. But for me, I feel like, yeah, when I'm playing Pokemon games, this is probably going to be one of my good warm-up game I'll go to often. Something I can switch to for a while if I get sick of the game I'm playing, but still want this show to go on a little longer. But yeah, I am playing with... Actually, so while we are... What is wrong with Pokemon Company? Like, the official, like, North American YouTube, they're just not putting up anything. Pokemon Presents. Hey, Juan. Yeah, happy Pokemon Day. It is, hold on. Yeah, for some odd reason, yeah. Properties? Filters? Hey there, Azurest. Interact. Okay, that's what we need. Alright. Just wanted to I have to cover up the spoilers in the chat room there, but... Yeah, hey there, Azurest. I know this is a game you've never seen before because I've never been on my stream before. This is Pokemon Pinball. This is a game I rented once from Blockbuster in '99. And it was a Game Boy Color game, but it's also compatible on the original Game Boy. Now, I remember you saying that a lot of the games with movement and scrolling don't work, like you can't see it very well when I play black and white Game Boy games. How does this pinball, but you said it looks good when I played Revenge of the Gator Pinball. How does this look for you, Azurest? Does this look like, are you able to follow this all right? The action going on? Because if not, there's another mode I could try that might highlight the game. It'll still be black and white, but it might highlight the graphics a little better. This is clear for you? Alright, so you know what I think it is? And this is something that a lot of people, even back in the late 80s and 90s, were saying about Game Boy, is that games that have that don't have a lot of scrolling and movement, whereas here we're switching between two tables, but the main action taking place is the ball moving around, but when a lot of objects were moving at once, it was a lot harder to keep track of the game screen. Now, I want to show off something real quick. Actually, I'm going to put out the cartridge. What I'm going to do is I'm going to pull up another setting. Dock, Systems, GB, video. We're going to put the display mode in original light. So this, the frame's not going to be accurate. I don't have a Game Boy Light frame. But this, what you see here, this sort of green, this sort of light blue tint, sort of like an old digital wristwatch. This is how the game, this is the appearance of games played on the Game Boy Light, which was a Japan-only system that added as this, it didn't just put in a front light into the Game Boy Pocket. The Game Boy Light was actually slightly larger than the Game Boy Pocket. It took AA batteries, so it was a bit bigger. And what I think is the coolest thing about it is that it gave, there was a certain effect, and even in the 90s I thought this effect was cool. I just remember being in the backseat of my parents' car. I had a digital wristwatch. I didn't ask for it, they got it for me. Thank you, Mom and Dad. But digital wristwatches that had a light-up feature, they tended to have this interesting sort of what I would call a frosty green property to them that looked really cool in the dark. And that's how the Game Boy Light worked. So this mode actually simulates that. So Azurest, would you say that this mode looks better to your eyes to follow and observe than the other mode I was on, which is how it would have looked on an original model Game Boy? Alright. No. Oh, we lost a ball. I mean, when you're in catch mode, you have a lot of lenience to... we need to get... Oh, no. Come on. Yeah, this is really tough because I'm playing with a slight delay. I'm playing with the delay because for the sake of... Oh, this is better? You'd say this is better? Alright, if this is better, then I will leave it on this mode for now. Oh. Yeah, if this is better for your eyes, Azurest, I think we'll leave it on this mode. But what I found interesting was that the Game Boy Light was not just a Game Boy Pocket with a lit screen. It was a slightly larger, took AA battery. It took two AA batteries, I think. Either one AA battery or two AA batteries. It was definitely bigger than the Game Boy Pocket. Meanwhile, the Game Boy Color added a color screen but did not have a light in it. And at the time, in the lead up to Game Boy Color, I was like sort of convinced myself, like, no, there's no way the Game Boy Color... but at the time I didn't even know about the Game Boy Light, which was Japan only. I was like, there's no possible way the Game Boy Color isn't going to have a lit screen. Because I was used to Game Gear. It was my very first system back in '91, and that Game Gear and all other color systems at the time had a lit screen. So the idea that there was going to be a color handheld, but the screen was going to be unlit was kind of an odd idea to me, and I didn't really believe it until I saw in person my friend had one. Yeah, so I got my Game Boy Color in 98? No. Actually, it would have been probably January, February 99. Not too long after Christmas. And I actually did not get any Game Boy Color games for it at the time. To me, the Game Boy Color was just exciting just in terms of having a much smaller Game Boy, a sleeker Game Boy, and having a sharper resolution screen. Because I went straight from the original model Game Boy to the Game Boy Color, and just being able to play my color games, my black and white games on a smaller, slimmer Game Boy with a nicer screen was a huge upgrade to me. The first Game Boy Color game I got was Pokémon Gold, but I did not get the English version of Pokémon Gold at the time. I actually got my dear aunt, had a friend in Japan, and she imported Pokémon Gold and Silver and a bunch of Japanese Pokémon memorabilia for me. And I don't know what I was thinking. I was just so impatient I could not wait to get my hands on the game. Because I remember when Pokemon first came out. I've got my copy right here. When it came out in Japan, there were like blurbs in gaming magazines. Oh, there's this monster taming role-playing game for Game Boy in Japan with 2 editions, and it's becoming very popular. And I thought, oh, that sounds so cool, especially after I have to trade with a friend to get a full collection. There's the social aspect of it was interesting to me. But I did not think that that game would come out in Japan. This is a time when RPGs were not... Like, Final Fantasy VII had recently come out. That was one of the first really big mainstream role-playing games in North America. Before that, role-playing games were so sort of obscure outside of Japan that they had a following. It was a very niche following, a very cult following. And it was actually to the point where Square, who was one of the biggest RPG developers and publishers, made a game specifically for the Western market called Final Fantasy Mystic Quest. That was specifically meant to be an entry-level role-playing game to introduce American players to the concept of how the gameplay flow of an RPG worked. You know, the concepts like a turn-based combat, equipping your characters to face the different challenges. Yeah, I guess we're sticking with the... Oh! Okay. Alright, we've got the UK Pokemon Presents up now. We got the UK Pokemon Presents. Alright, we are going to switch to the UK one. Because that's a little closer to my region. I'm closer to the UK than I am to Asia. So, even though this is the English language agent feed we're using. So we're going to switch to that now. Alright. Alright, no, sorry, my broadcast software is very slow to respond. You know, it's kind of funny, without the context that I'm using the Game Boy Light filter, you really wouldn't necessarily know that this is the Game Boy Light and not just a simulation of the sort of greenish effect of the original model Game Boy screen. Interact. Okay. Yeah, I'm not playing Pokemon very well. Pokemon Pinball. I'm not playing it very well because I am playing on with about up to a half-second delay, actually. Because for the sake of watching this, I have normally my second monitor, the monitor that I actually have the game running on, will be plugged directly into my console, the console that I'm using, whether it's the Analog Pocket, the Switch, the Wii U, or the NES Classic, or whatever else I'm using. This time around, what I'm doing... Actually, let me... Yeah, so... Okay, so... We'll check in again in 10 minutes. Yeah, because instead I have the sort of the 4K capture utility for my capture, that software that comes with my capture card, running on my second monitor, in which I have the YouTube feed running on my monitor. So right now both of my monitors are hooked up to the computer, but the thing is when I use the capture utility or try to play the game in the broadcast software, there's a slight processing delay. So I'm actually looking at the screen. I see the game screen as it existed like about half a second or a quarter of a second before it actually happened. In a game like Pinball, if it was a role-playing game, especially one that didn't have any active time battle type elements, it would be a bigger deal. It wouldn't be such a big deal. But for a fast-paced game like Pinball, it's definitely impacting my gameplay. Now, this is Kirby's... No... Nintendo's Versus Pinball and Revenge of the Gator, both of those games did not have a tilt function, whereas here there actually is a tilt function where you press on the D-pad and shake the table a bit. I always thought it was kind of a weird idea to include a sort of something that on a real pinball table would get you in trouble. And plus the idea of a tilt is so kind of old. Like when I see tilt in like Looney Tunes and stuff like that as a joke when someone's playing a pinball table, I feel like that is something that I think maybe applied more to older pinball tables when they were lighter, not modern pinball tables. And when I say modern, I mean like at least like late 80s and onward, where it seems like the pinball tables are much heavier consoles with lots of guts and hardware and the like in them. Alright. Alright, so we're going to play this again. Yeah, it's going to be interesting finally getting to play this without the input delay when I play this properly on my stream and not as part of a... Oh, okay, we lost it. We lost it. We tried, we lost it. And... do it. And... watch. Okay. End of ball bonus. Alright, so we have... how much time? We have 17 minutes till the Pokemon presents. For some reason, I remember these annual, like, Pokemon Day, Pokemon Presents presentations as being, like, half-hour things. And that's absolutely not the case. They were... like, the one where they announced Scarlet and Violet was only, like, 15 minutes long. And this new one's going to be, like, 12 or 13 minutes. So, yeah, something as big as a whole new generation of the games could be announced in less than 15 minutes of presentation time. So we can get some pretty big announcements. I feel... but for me, the biggest announcements I'm hoping for... the biggest things I'd realistically be hoping for are digital versions of old cartridge, 8 Game Boy and Game Boy Advance Pokemon games, to which I happen to already own the real physical games for. So it wouldn't be something that would be of great use to me, but it would put a lot of people within striking distance of being able to play these games without, in an official manner, in a manner that reflects their official release history, without, because these games are very, very expensive on the secondhand market. I got Pokemon Red. This copy of Pokemon Red I just showed you, that was an impulse purchase. I don't think I'd be shocked if I paid more than $15 for it. And that's back in like 2003 or 4 when I got it. And even in 2003, 4, I'm like, oh man, Pokemon, that brings me way back. Now this is not my childhood copy. My childhood copy was sadly stolen. But what I would say is that I remember the experience of taking this game out the box. Well, they build up to, alright, H, if you get a good report card, we'll get you the new Pokemon game. Because I was already watching the cartoon. Let's talk about my history with Pokemon. I first learned about Pokemon through gaming magazines. Not even Nintendo Power. I was not subscribed at that time, but just third-party general gaming magazines. They would be mentioned here that, oh, this Pocket Monsters monster taming RPG on Game Boy in Japan is becoming popular and it's becoming a big craze. And there are 2 editions of the game, and you have to and players have to cooperate and trade their creatures in order to get a full collection. You could also battle them. Like, oh, that sounds pretty cool. They're probably never going to bring that to the U.S. That sounds like a very Japanese thing. It's what I thought at the time. And mind you, I'm still a kid at this point, so it's kind of interesting that I had that much insight to even think of it at that level. But then I remember the Pokemon anime came out, and I saw pictures of the Pokemon Center stores in Japan. And then when the Pokemon anime came out in the US, I really wasn't paying super close attention. I was like, oh, I didn't know they'd actually bring this over to the US. And I remember when the seizure incident happened in Japan. This is before Pokemon came over to the US. I remember like, oh, wow, that's pretty crazy. And then when Pokemon came out in the West, well, when it was like a few weeks in, I think my first episode that I saw was either the Ghost of Maiden's Peak or something around there. Ghost of Maiden's Peak was definitely one of the first episodes I saw. I have a strong memory of it being the first one I saw. And that's a heck of a first episode to see, because there's not one, but 2 talking Pokemon in that episode. And talking Pokemon, they're common in the Pokemon feature films, but on the show they were very rare, aside from the talking Team Meowth, Team Rocket Meowth. And I was like kind of confused, like how come some Pokemon could talk but some just say their names? And I was also confused as to if Pokemon were each Pokemon was absolutely unique. Like, there is one Pikachu in the world. There was one Ghastly in the world. There's one Meowth in the world, so forth. Or if there were, like, animals where it's like, oh, we have Meowths in place of cats. Oh, we have, Pikachus in place of mice, and Pidgeys in place of a lot of bird species. So it was kind of, had to feel my way around it. But over time, I watched a few episodes. It became a daily, every weekday mornings before school. It came out at like 6 a.m. So I had to get up early to take a shower and watch it, and my mom would cook me a hot breakfast. She'd make me grape nuts or oatmeal or something. Bless her. And there was a point, I remember that specific point. I was in math class, my special education math class. And math not being my best subject, but a topic I was interested in, but I'd get bored because I had struggled in it. I remember sitting in math class, and I remember the specific moment. I was staring out the window, and I was looking out the window and actually just thinking about, wow, I really like the Pokemon cartoon. I really like it. And I like the world, and I like the creatures and characters. And it would be a fun world to have adventures in alongside these, these animals with superpowers. I should get the Pokemon Game Boy game. And one of the first thoughts I had was this fanciful daydream of sort of making these almost like stock certificates for Pokemon trades, where it's like, oh, this certifies that Billy will trade Timmy his Weedle for a for a Mankey, or I don't know, there's something like that. And that, along with, thinking about, like, that day, I remember, like, oh yeah, I actually like this setting a lot. I'd love to experience more of this world and play the actual games this is based on, and that was the moment I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna ask my parents for Pokemon. And they're like, okay, if you get a good report card, we'll take you to the store and we'll get you. I have a weird memory. I remember going up to the counter. I don't think it wasn't a Funko Land. But I think it might have been a KB Toys, maybe? Was it a KB Toys? And it was in a place we didn't go too often. So it was a bit of a out-of-the-way drive. It was Saturday. It was a Saturday morning. Or Saturday afternoon. It was like around noon. It wasn't. And we went to the store, the toy store. And I was sitting behind the counter, and I was like, okay, this is, and I remember, like, the storekeeper, and I think, I just thought of this now, I remember the storekeeper kind of playing into it a bit, because I think the storekeeper maybe might have been a fan themselves. Like, I don't remember if it was an older person. I mean, I'm a kid, so anyone who's old enough to be working in the store is going to be an adult compared to me. Or seen as an old person compared to me. But I think they'd been through this routine a lot, where, it's like, okay, it's time for, little Jack or Jill or whoever to get their copy of Pokemon, and let's see what we've got. Okay, okay, we've got the official, we finally got the official one, the official, US feed. Okay. Alright. Alright, we're good. I don't know why they waited till like 10 minutes too. But hold on. So now I gotta go to interact. So interact. We make that bad boy nice and big. Now that's interesting. The UK and the Asian feeds have live chat enabled. The US one does not. That's very interesting. I mean, I'm surprised they do, because I can tell people were like spoiling and posting rumors or whatever. There are some rumors I've heard of what might be featured in there, but I didn't look into it. I didn't look at the rumors or spoilers. So let's switch over actually to this feed here. Yeah, 2 minutes in, I will actually, so we'll play like this for now. Actually, can I? Alright. Okay, there we go. I accidentally forgot to put my utility back up. Alright, so, yeah, I would get in the store, and I knew exactly what I wanted. I remember all the copies of Pokemon Red and Blue sitting behind the counter. And mind you, I've had Game Boy since '95, and it came with a pretty decent... Oh my goodness, what is going on in the Interact here? Yeah, I don't think I'll be able to make this full screen, sadly, because of the way I'm capturing this. But I want to try to find a new way to capture it so it could be like fully full screen until at the end, and end up messing up a system that I know will actually work and actually let me do the thing. I mean, I'll be honest, I'm mostly doing this. This is mostly going to be for the sake of the YouTube video anyway, in which case people will have seen the actual Direct or Pokemon Presents thing by then. And so he's like, alright, do you want red or blue? And it's kind of funny because, I mean, look at me now. Like, blue's kind of my color now. But something about red seemed more appealing to me. No, actually, what I thought, for some reason, what I thought was that either blue seems more popular, or I feel like I remember having a certain number of friends who had blue instead of red. And due to that, I thought if I get red, I'd have more people I could trade with to get the Pokemon I needed to get a full set. And something about blue just seemed a little more, like, verbal, in the sense of a little more action-y, whereas something about blue seemed a little more passive. So I decided to get Pokemon Red, and I remember taking the cartridge out the box. And I had Pokemon, I had Game Boy since '95, and I had a big library of games, but they were all pre-owned games. This is the first time I got this is the only time, actually, Pokemon Red was the only time I got a brand new original generation Game Boy game, unwrapped the cellophane, and it's not often. I got 1 or 2 new games a year at this time in my life. So holding the box in my hands, flipping the lid open, and seeing that brand new shiny cartridge case that they'd come in, and seeing this is the first time I really noticed like new game smell. It's a bit of a meme now, but just like, oh wow, it even smells like, you know, that unique smell straight from the factory. And seeing the bright red cartridge and being like, this is something special. This is not going to be like other games. And I just love the fact that it just says, it's inverted on my webcam, but it just says Pokemon. Not red, blue, yellow, chartreuse, whatever. Just Pokemon. Because this is all it was. This is just... It was a big multimedia franchise, but this is a game made for the sake of being the best game they were able to make with the means they had and realize this vision. So even, I mean, I love Gold and Silver, but like even Gold and Silver, they're making this knowing it's going to be this big multimedia. They made this just in a very earnest manner, just like, hey, let's make a game. Let's make something special. And going through the manual, which they ingeniously, they styled the manual like a Safari notebook, which is an ingenious, a bit of immersion. And they did a great, and mind you, I played Final Fantasy VII, I played enough to understand how to attack. I didn't get far in it. Me and my brother would keep getting stuck when we rented it. but it was being very new to RPGs. This is the first RPG I really... Pokemon is the first RPG I ever beat. So sitting down, actually playing through it in its entirety, and experiencing it, this new role-playing game of a different kind. And when you read that manual that's styled like a Safari notebook, and it serves as a walkthrough to getting your first gym badge, which is great. I didn't remember looking, but even with that little walkthrough, I remember just being genuinely surprised, the adventuresomeness of it all. I remember being in the backseat of my parents' car, booting up the game for the first time, and yeah, just the excitement of it all. You know, and you know, da 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 da. Like, even Pokemon has a tradition of using route themes as the introduction while the regional professor introduces the world of Pokemon to you, but something about that particular track, it felt so scholarly in nature, like da 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 da. It felt like a professor was explaining biology stuff to you about, you know, these strange creatures that exist in this world. Now, why don't we... yeah, in 2 minutes we will turn off the game. We will turn off the game, and we will turn off the timer. Actually, I don't have to turn off the timer. I can just quit out of the timer, and it'll just vanish from my layout. Definitely a lot faster than trying to manually... You know, for the half second of delay I've got, I'm playing pretty decently. When I play this for real, and I'm actually running the console, the cartridge playing device directly into my monitor that's directly in front of me that I play my games on, my gameplay will improve significantly, I am sure. Now, this is already... It may be the case that just sitting here is more time than I've already know for a fact that I've spent more time sitting here playing this than I've spent playing Pokemon Pinball since 1999, that weekend I rented it. Launch. Boing. Alright, we're down to 90 seconds. I think it's time to, quit out, and we will make the where is the we'll make the Elgato go away, and we'll make the timer go away, because I put a minute, it's kind of arbitrary. It'll begin when it begins. Oh, you know what, I just realized the US feed probably has chat disabled because they have to put it on YouTube as like a kids only video because of the stupid US laws. It is so stupid, and they're gonna make it even worse with this new law they want to pass. But I don't want to get into that now. All right, any second now. Come on, I just hope for the sake of more people being able to play these games legitimately for the first time. Alright. Alright. I can't really know if the game, if I balance this correctly, the audio, okay. Alright, cool. Alright, okay, before it went live, I didn't think I'd be able to make it full screen. I thought something was wrong with the way I was capturing it. Okay, cool, I can make it full screen. Yeah, for those who are choosing to watch this live with me, I just thank you tremendously for spending your time with me. For those that are, yeah, I'd rather you be able to hear the show clearly than me if there was only one or the other, but it should be balanced good. do something I normally don't do and turn up my audio slightly on my microphone.
Hello everyone, I'm Ishihara from the Pokémon Company. Today, February 27, is Pokémon Day. This is the date that the Pokémon Red and Pokémon Green games were first released in Japan. Our adventures with Pokémon, which started with the simple fun of collecting, trading, and battling in the Pokémon Red and Pokémon Green games, have expanded to fit into so many facets of daily life, including walking and sleeping. We'll keep challenging ourselves to create
I was playing Pokemon Sleep for a while, but I sort of lost interest because I'm like, this just keeps going on forever. There's like
all the latest news.
There's no point in which I win this,
including our newest titles.
And I did not spend a dime on it.
Utsunomiya, please take it away.
Mr. Anomiya.
Hello, I'm Utsunomiya from the Pokémon Company. I hope everyone has enjoyed their adventures in the Pokémon Scarlet and Pokémon Violet games so far.
Utsunomiya. Okay, it's short.
Pokemon Day.
Normally
We've
don't
planned a
prefer them in
series
that
of
short
Terra
form.
Raid battle events where you'll be able to face off against a mighty Venusaur, Blastoise, and Charizard. The first of these Terra Raid battle events will begin tomorrow.
I really am going to get a spam caller trying to call me now.
Today, I'd also like to share the latest updates on a number of our other games. Please have a look at this.
Alright, none of these, I can tell you right now, none of these are going to be games I'm playing. Pokemon Go. Yeah, not for me.
A collaboration event with Pokemon Go is on its way.
And I'm not watching, and I haven't really been watching the new Pokemon anime series either.
Pikachu wearing Cap's hat is making its debut. It even knows an attack new to Pokemon Go, Volt Tackle. Charcadet, Armarouge, and Ceruledge are coming too. And Liko and Roy will be dropping in when you snap a pick and go snapshot. So set out on an adventure with your new friends.
Yeah, this is the new Pokemon anime after they discontinued the storyline with Ash and his friends. Oh, Pokemon Sleep updates. If this actually gets me to play Pokemon Sleep again, that would be interesting. I mean, it was cute, it was fun, but it's like, I got to a point where I realized, like, what's the, for me, it's just like, okay, I'm just gonna keep doing this, and it's like having an Akita. Okay, we get the 3 legendary beasts of Johto. That's cool. Yay, 1,000 diamonds. Now, whenever something's called, like, diamonds or premium tokens or something like that, you know it's, like, something that's meant to milk your money somehow.
I never give up.
Pokemon Masters EX, this is a mobile game.
We're the greatest in the world. You're the greatest and strongest
Wow,
partner I could
they
ask
actually
for.
got some Heart Gold Soul Silver footage. Oh wow, you get Riley, that guy who is kind of like Sir Auron from... Oh yeah, Pokemon Cafe Remix. You know, is this game free to play? I might as well try it sometime. I don't know, like, I like Pokemon Puzzle League, so I should have this bias towards Pokemon-themed puzzle games, and the whole concept looks very comfy, and the art style is very cute. But when I look at the game, I'm like, it doesn't look like gameplay. It just looks like swirling your finger over the screen. It doesn't look like there's much gameplay to it. Oh, it's Pokemon Untie. I saw a meme where it said Pokemon Untie. Let's see if I can show it. Yeah, this is an online multiplayer dungeon game. I hear classic Pokemon music. I'm optimistic. This is the credits for Gen 1.
Moving on, please have a look at this video.
Alright, here we go. Oh, that blue and white that is such a me shirt. I want that shirt. That's not from anything having to do with Pokemon. That's just a shirt that I want. Wow, Pokemon NFTs confirmed. No, I know, but that blue and white striped shirt, that is so me. I want that shirt. I mean, this looks cool, right? But you know... Why? Can't, like... I don't know, like, you know they're gonna find a way to nickel and dime. This is Nick... You know this is gonna be nickel. Oh, you can actually play the trading card game. Okay. Immersive cards. Are they like oh, that's cool. They like animate. I'll be honest, like I have a physical Pokemon card collection. I don't know, my sort of daydream is to get one card of each Pokemon. That's sort of my daydream, right? I'm not sure how I'd feel about doing a digital collection like this though. Pokemon TCG Pocket. Open 2 packs per day at no cost. Yeah, no, this is cool. This is cool. Honestly, this is the first mobile Pokemon thing I've been genuinely interested in, and I'm still probably not going to mess with it. What you just saw was the world's
first look at Pokemon Trading Card Game Pocket. This game lets you easily collect Pokemon cards, which players all over the world have enjoyed since they debuted in 1996. But in a new digital format.
I didn't realize the Pokemon trading card game came out the same year. The Pokemon Company is
developing this game as a 3-party collaboration with Creatures Inc., the creators of the Pokemon trading card game, and DNA, our partners.
Okay, cool. No Tencent. Thank you. No Tencent.
To mark the launch of this title, here's a message from Mr. Yuji Kitano, President and CEO of Creatures. Mr. Kitano,
we don't hear from Creatures as a company that much, but they're heavily involved with.
I'm Yuji Kitano from Creatures Inc.
Pokemon.
I'd like to start by thanking everyone for enjoying the Pokemon trading card game. With Pokemon Trading Card Game Pocket, we hope to bring you all a new way to enjoy the Pokemon trading card game, so we are hard at work developing digital cards. When we develop physical cards, we strive to please by taking great care with our paper quality, colors, and printing process. Since this game uses mobile devices rather than paper, we're challenging ourselves to express that care in new ways that are only possible digitally.
That's interesting.
Such as using the characteristics of the screen to show off brilliant colors and stylish effects. One way we're accomplishing this is with immersive cards, which give players the experience of leaping into the world of the card illustration.
That's cool.
What's more, we've developed new streamlined game rules based on our existing battle system, so you can enjoy a quick battle during the free moments in your day.
That's good thinking. Like Yu-Gi-Oh! Did something similar where they sort of made an express version of how their game works for mobile
Our 3 companies are all working hard to deliver a fun experience for those
Pokemon
of you who already enjoy the Pokemon
Game
trading
Freak
card game,
and
as
Creatures,
well as those who've never played before. We hope you look forward to the results of our latest efforts in the world of the Pokemon trading card game, Pokemon Trading Card Game
They just announced Pokemon Trading Card Game NFTs for your cell phone. No, I'm just kidding. They're not NFTs. They're not NFTs. But it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool.
We plan to launch Pokemon Trading Card Game Pocket within 2024. Please look forward to more details in the future.
Probably like 4 a.m. over there for you. Not quite, but
we'd like to end today's
I'm exaggerating a
with
bit.
One final video for you all.
Okay.
Thank you for tuning in.
One final video. Okay, we're either getting classic games for They're getting classic games for the Nintendo Switch, online, Game Boy Advance apps, and N64 apps, or we're getting something completely new. I hope it's not the next generation. If it's the next generation, I might just flip off the camera. Question mark? It's gonna be something mysterious. Okay, something new then, I think. Modern Game Freak logo. So this is something new. Urban development plan, blank city. A vision of beautiful coexistence of people and Pokemon. I'm interested. Wait, is this Detective Pikachu? We already know this is okay. This is their big announcement. Is Detective Pikachu? This is something. We already know that this is coming. And I mean, I didn't play the first one on 3DS, but are they gonna wait? Are they gonna port the first one to Switch? I mean, that would be because right now, like the second Pokemon. The second like Detective... Wait, is this? Is this gonna be something totally new? Because the coexistence of people and Pokemon in a certain city is already... Lumio City! Urban Development Plan. Okay. They did a good job... Well, I did... Now you do Pokemon Z? Now you do Pokemon Z! This is the biggest troll in the history of video gaming. You do Pokemon X and Y, you set up for Pokemon Z, you make an anime called Pokemon X, Y, and Z, then you go to the next generation, you go to Pokemon Sun and Moon, you go to do Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon, you do Pokemon Sword and Shield, you do Pokemon, Sword and Shield, you do Pokemon, Scarlet and Violet, then you do Pokemon Z! Then you do Pokemon Z! I cannot believe... Oh my... What?! What?! This... Wow! What?! And I'm not buying it. I don't trust their quality control anymore. It's sad. It looks interesting. And Pokemon Legends Arceus was restored my faith in Pokemon after being disappointed by Sword and Shield to the point where, okay, I know Pokemon Legends Arceus was good. I'll go get the next game. I trust Game Freak. I'll get Scarlet and Violet. And the quality control in Scarlet and Violet was down the toilet. If any company other than Pokemon released a game in this quality as a AAA full price release, they'd be absolute laughingstocks. Instead, they get defended for what the quality of what they released there, and now they're going to do another Legends game. I'm not buying it. I'm not buying it. I hope everyone who plays it has a blast, has a great time, but I am not. I'm not buying another RPG of that scale. Like, I mean, I don't trust. This is. I know what is cool though? What is cool about the concept? Pokemon Legends in Lumio City, apparently. Specifically, are we going to see a massively expanded Lumio City to the point where the whole game can take place there? Because Pokemon Legends Arceus took place in a pre-industrial Sinnoh region. An urban Pokemon Legends game has a lot of potential. Why not? Why couldn't it have been Unova? Why could it not have been Unova? Damn, why couldn't it have been Unova? What a shame. But all right. Yeah, I think we might as well call the stream there. not a whole lot more I have to say. I think I've said it. I want to go ahead and get this uploaded. But, yeah. So, I'm gonna be back on Saturday at my normal Eastern Standard Time, 5 p.m. Show time. I'll be playing Mario vs. Donkey Kong, and if in case an evil AI construct bricks my Switch or something crazy like that, I will have the Game Boy Advance version of Mario vs. Donkey Kong as a backup. Not that I expect that to take place or anything like that. For those who may be joining me for the first time, I have a focus on retro games, but I do play modern games sometimes. Like, I was playing the 1994 Game Boy version of Pokemon before, and then I played a little Game Boy Advance Mario vs. Donkey Kong. Now I'm playing the classic Mario vs. Donkey Kong on Game Boy Advance alongside the Switch version. So, I think we'll call it there. I will see you all next time. Thank you very much for watching.